Well, it was a spin duo in the end, orchestrating what a phenomenal win it has been for Pakistan. Has to be one of the greatest comebacks when you look at the fact that Pakistan were one down in the series and they'd lost that series to Bangladesh, but everything worked out well in the end. Well, this is how the match panned out. Then England made 267 runs in their first innings. Pakistan in response, quite phenomenal with the bat was South Shakil. Chipping in with runs were the tail-enders. Wouldn't really want to call them tail-enders now, considering the way they've contributed, Sajid Khan and Noman Ali. England in response were bundled out for 112. The spin duo, like I said, doing majority of the work, and Pakistan winning convincingly in the end. Well, plenty to celebrate by this Pakistan cricket team. Remember, they were 1-0 down in this series. There was all that conjecture, talk around what's happening in Pakistan cricket. But just 2 weeks later, Pakistan has won this series, and full credit to them with the way they've made this comeback. And to talk about this brilliant comeback, I've got with me none other than the captain himself, Shan Masood, who joins us alongside Ramiz Raja. Shan, बहुत मुबारक हो. I think just in context of the significance of this win, it was much needed. You know, the fact that Pakistan cricket hasn't been winning in the last few months, whether it's across all formats. So just talk about the significance of this win first, please.
Thank you, Zainab. I think before the start of the series, we used the word hurt. Or सिर्फ हम hurt नहीं थे. I think every stakeholder of Pakistan cricket was hurt. And then once that first test match started, we thought that we started off well, but I mean, England kept growing and growing as the test match went on, and they won. So we thought it can't get any worse than that. And I think that hurt became stronger even more, and we had some change of personnel. I thought when these last two test matches, what stood out was that we had some amazing characters, and you need characters to win you games, especially in such chaotic times. So for us to find that balance, for us to be calm, for us to get on with things even when so much was happening, I think that's the biggest sign of encouragement any cricket team can have.
अच्छा, एक जो चीज़ जो नज़र आ रही है in the last few years, that Pakistan was trying to find a template to win in home conditions. I mean, weren't really able to get that kind of results in that series against Bangladesh. उससे पहले भी. Do you think now Pakistan has managed to do that with the kind of pitches that were prepared and then the plans being executed by the team?
देखें, इसमें सबसे पहले आपको ये डिसाइड करना है कि आपने किधर पहुंचना है एज ए टीम. If we want to play for the World Test Championship in the coming years, unfortunately इसमें we let it slip a long way. उसमें ये होता है कि आपने ये तय करना है कि भाई हमें रिजल्ट ओरिएंटेड विकेट्स चाहिए, और आपको एक ऐसी टीम चाहिए, एक ऐसा स्क्वाड चाहिए, ऐसा रोस्टर चाहिए दैट कैन प्ले इन एनी कंडीशंस, बिकॉज यू आर गोइंग टू ट्रैवल अवे. 3 सीरीज आपकी अवे होती हैं, 3 होम पर होती हैं, एंड देन यू हैव टू लुक एट द ऑपोजिशन एज वेल. सो वी नीड अ साइड. आराम से कह सकते हैं स्पिन विकेट्स हमारा टेम्पलेट है, बट डाउन द line, if we play, let's say, someone like Sri Lanka, who are good playing spin or in these conditions, then we might have to change things around a bit. So we need a side that can adapt to every certain conditions. और हमें ना encouraging signs देखने चाहिए. Encouraging signs ये थी कि हम चीज़ें ट्राई कर रहे थे. हमने बांग्लादेश से आके yes हम सीरीज़ हारे, and I always say that will never be acceptable, and I take full responsibility of it. But हमने ट्राई किया कि हम ग्रास रख के देखते हैं. 9 मिल्स पहले टेस्ट में रखी, उसमें इतना हमें लगा थोड़ी सी फ्लैटन आउट हो रही है. अगले में हमने 12 मिल्स रखी, थोड़ी सी हम बेहतर बैटिंग बॉलिंग करते हैं, हम दोनों टेस्ट मैचेस जीते. फिर सबसे इंकरेजिंग साइंस ये थे हमारे लिए कि 2024 में जो हमने फर्स्ट इनिंग्स टोटल पोस्ट की हैं फ्रॉम सिडनी टिल नाउ, they allow us to set test matches. So again, the main question was how do we pick 20 wickets, and it's never an accusation at the bowlers. It's कि test match जीतने के लिए एक नॉन नेगोशिएबल है कि बैटिंग हमेशा मैच सेट करके देगी, बॉलर्स 20 विकेट्स लेकर मैच जिताएंगे. तो for us it's about the template will always be the same. The batting first innings will set you the games up, और bowling 20 wickets कैसे लेगी. विकेट जैसी भी हो, हमें 20 आउट करने आने चाहिए.
आई थिंक द क्वेश्चन पूछने का ये है कि इस केओटिक मोमेंट में कामनेस जो आई है, ऑब्वियसली क्योंकि जैसी मर्जी आप पिच प्रिपेयर कर लें, उसको स्ट्रैटेजी एक्सिक्यूट करने के लिए जो है उसके लिए एक अलग ही किस्म की प्लानिंग होती है ना. वो इस केओटिक माहौल में कैसे अचीव की, शान?
देखें, आई थिंक हम एट द एंड ऑफ द डे कहते हैं कि इट ऑलवेज बी अ स्टेक होल्डर्स गेम। ये कभी कप्तान की टीम नहीं है, ये कभी बोर्ड की टीम नहीं है, ये सिर्फ प्लेयर्स की टीम नहीं है, ये पूरे पाकिस्तान की टीम है। एंड आई थिंक इसमें अगर हम देखें कलेक्टिव एक एफर्ट हुआ है। सेकंड टेस्ट मैच ऑनवर्ड से वी हैड एन अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ सिलेक्टर्स, वो आए, हम साथ बैठे और हम सबका देखें, हम एक ही पेज पे थे कि हमने 20 आउट कैसे करने हैं। उसके लिए वे आर विलिंग टू लूज। आई थिंक आपको थोड़ा सा इधर रिस्क टेकिंग को भी अपलॉड करना चाहिए। जो मैं बात करता हूँ ना कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स की, कि एज अ बैटिंग यूनिट हम बांग्लादेश में भी तैयार थे ग्रीन सीमर्स के लिए, और हम इधर भी तैयार थे कि स्पिन विकेट्स आ जाएं, हम रन्स आपको करके दे देंगे, आप बस हमें किसी तरीके से 20 आउट करके दे दें। ये टीम वर्क होता है। तो हमारे लिए ये चीज़ें इंकरेजमेंट थी। एवरीवन वाज ऑन द सेम पेज। इट्स अ कंबाइंड एफर्ट। आई डोंट थिंक दैट आप क्रेडिट कहीं एक दूसरे उसके वो कर सकते हैं, बट इट्स अ कंबाइंड एफर्ट एंड पीपल सैट टुगेदर एंड सॉर्ट अ वे आउट के पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट कैसे आगे जाए।
दो चीज़ें अब आपको जिसके ऊपर नज़र रहेगी, एक तो आप सीमिंग कंडीशंस पे आप कैसे खेलेंगे, और दूसरा ये कि ये वन ऑफ है, या आपको जब आप कहते हैं ना कि फ्लेक्सिबल मेंटालिटी और फ्लेक्सिबल कॉम्बिनेशन आपको रखना है, उसमें कितना बड़ा अब चैलेंज है, क्योंकि आपका नेक्स्ट चैलेंज है साउथ अफ्रीका।
यही अडेप्टेबिलिटी की बात है। आई थिंक एवरीवन हैज टू बी।
सेकंड इनिंग्स की बैटिंग,
सेकंड इनिंग्स की बैटिंग भी मैंने देखे, आपसे कहा था जहां हमें लीड मिलेगी वो हमने पिछले टेस्ट में दिखाई। इधर भी जब हमें लीड मिली तो हमने लीड ली एक पोजीशन में आके। सेकंड इनिंग्स की बैटिंग, जी हम जहां ड्रॉ करना है, रमीज भाई ये भी देखें कि हमने जब भी सेकंड इनिंग्स से हम मैच हारे हैं, हमारे पास सिर्फ दो ऑप्शन है, या तो हम हारेंगे या तो ड्रॉ करेंगे। यस, हमने वो चीज़ ठीक करनी है, बट बात इधर हो रही है हम पाकिस्तान को जिता कैसे सकते हैं। जिताएंगे तब जब फर्स्ट इनिंग्स की बैटिंग और फर्स्ट इनिंग्स की बॉलिंग आपस में एक अच्छा बेस सेट करके देगी। तो दैट इज the most important thing. Going to South Africa, I think it'll be more seamer oriented. We've been there in 2019, and again we were very confident after Australia कि जो हमने ऑस्ट्रेलिया में कुछ साइंस दिखाए, I think if we stick to the same things and if we're adaptable, we can have a good series there as well, inshallah.
अच्छा, personally for you, ये तो टीम की बात होगी. Personally for you, even as a captain, you must be extremely relieved because there were 6 losses in a row, and it's very easy to
ये
sort of
कैसे
get
अचीव किया? 6 losses in a row.
Yeah, it's very easy to get into
मतलब
a hole.
कोशिश करके भी जो है ना, ये आपने
रमीज भाई वो बस इट सीम्ड लाइक अ वेरी बैड नाइटमेयर। एक के बाद जब आप एल लॉसेस देख रहे होते हैं अपने, उसमें इट हर्ट्स। देखें पाकिस्तान की
अच्छा, मुझे ये बताएं, लॉसेस में आपके करीब कौन था, आपको जो हाथ डालता था आपके शोल्डर पे, कौन है लोग?
आई थिंक अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल आई हैव हैड अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल। फैमिली तो देखें, फैमिली तो नॉन नेगोशिएबल है, बट ऑल्सो इन द क्रिकेटिंग फ्रेटर्निटी आई रिसीव सो मेनी। जब मैं बांग्लादेश से हारा था, सो मेनी पॉजिटिव मैसेजेस फ्रॉम सो मेनी पीपल, इवन विद इन द क्रिकेट बोर्ड, इवन विद इन द प्लेयर्स। आई थिंक मैं एक मतलब छोटी सी बात है, मुझे अभी तक याद है कि जब हम पहला मैच टेस्ट मैच भी हार रहे थे, तो ऐसी बातों में रिजवान ने कहा, यार अल्लाह मियां कुछ इसका इम्तिहान ले रहा है, कुछ बड़ा काम करवाएगा। तो ये टीम का है। एट द एंड ऑफ द डे मैं उसको पर्सनली सिर्फ इसलिए लेता हूँ कि एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, एंड एट द एंड ऑफ द डे आई वांट द टीम टू विन। मेरा कुछ हो ना हो, आई डोंट केयर। वी नीडेड दिस विन, द नेशन नीडेड दिस विन, एंड आई एम रियली हैप्पी कि
तुम्हारा भी होना है शान। ये जो है ना, ये जो शॉट है, इस पे कंट्रोल होगा या नहीं
होगा? रमीज भाई होगा। आई थिंक वही चीज़ है, यू लर्न थिंग्स फ्रॉम द गेम। द गेम इज अ ग्रेट लेवलर। यू कैन never take this game for granted, और हर चीज़ में इम्प्रूवमेंट करनी होगी, चाहे वो बैटिंग हो, चाहे वो कैप्टनसी हो।
Yeah, I was going to come to talking about, of course, win तो हुई है, talking about areas of improvement. अगर एक जहाँ area है जिसकी बात की जाए, जहाँ पे पाकिस्तान perhaps needs to improve amongst other areas, is that top order batting. I mean, अभी जो जितनी भी हमने series देखी है, उसमें run सारे from the middle order and the lower middle order आए हैं, and of course when you tour South Africa and you tour overseas, तो वो contribution भी vital होगी. So is that something that's on the back of your mind?
I think, Zainab, that's a very valid question, but इसमें भी I think there are 2-3 facets to this. Number one, we've invested in a very young partnership, Saim and Abdullah, and you have to give them time. It's very easy to chop and change, but opening in test match cricket, I think Ramiz bhai will tell you as well, opening in test match cricket, especially in the World Test Championship, अगर आप देखें सबसे ज़्यादा कम numbers ही opening के हुए हैं, because people want results. आप ये conditions भी देख लें, सबसे ज़्यादा अगर आप इंग्लैंड की भी, yes, Duckett was a standout and exception, but वो जिस तरीके से खेला है, there's a lot of risk involved in that game, and maybe we can take a leaf or two off his page कि ये चीज़ हम अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. बट नंबर वन, यू हैव टू इन्वेस्ट. नंबर टू, क्या कहते हैं, देर हैव बिन टाइम्स वेयर द गेम हैज़ बिन सेट अप फॉर द मिडल ऑर्डर. अगर आप कल का देखें पैसेज ऑफ प्ले, हम आराम से कह सकते थे कि जैसे मैं और रिजवान भी थे, पहले तो साइम और अब्दुल्ला की 35 रन्स की एक अच्छी सी छोटी पार्टनरशिप हुई, इट गॉट इज थ्रू द न्यू बॉल। फिर जो एक पॉकेट्स ऑफ पार्टनरशिप्स हुई 50 की, मेरी और सऊद की और सऊद और रिजवान की, उसमें मैं और रिजवान बिल्कुल अपने नेचुरल गेम के अगेंस्ट खेलें। यू कैन बी अ बिट क्रिटिकल एंड से कि ये रन्स पे क्यों नहीं गए, बट देन यू कैन ऑल्सो के वी एब्जॉर्ब्ड 70 balls and 50 balls respectively, that then allowed people like Noman and Sajid to play with the softer ball. तो sometimes आपको बड़ी तस्वीर देखनी होती है और ये देखना होता है कि ओपनर्स आपको गेम किस तरीके से सेटअप करके दे रहे हैं, और दूसरी चीज़ है हमारे लिए ये थोड़ा सा लॉन्ग टर्म वो भी है कि टेस्ट क्रिकेट में फाइनली हम ऐसे लोग लाएं जो टेस्ट क्रिकेट में हमें नज़र आ रहा है कि भाई जैसे साइम है, अब्दुल्ला है, ये पाकिस्तान को आगे जाके काफ़ी सर्व करेंगे।
एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन बिफोर वी लेट यू गो, टैलेंट की आंख आपकी ठीक बैठी हुई है या नहीं? क्योंकि देखें ना, चांसेस आप दें, बिल्कुल दें, इसमें कोई शक नहीं है, बट क्या सही टैलेंट को चांस दे रहे हैं आप, ये क्वेश्चन है।
देखें, एट द एंड ऑफ द डे वेर ऑल ह्यूमन बींग्स, वे फ्लॉड, हम कहीं ना कहीं मिस्टेक्स करेंगे, बट आई थिंक सबसे एक अच्छी चीज़ ये है कि हम कोशिश ये करें कि देयर शुड बी एन एलिमेंट ऑफ कंसिस्टेंसी। इधर जैसे सीरीज़ थी, ब्रिंगिंग समवन इन जस्ट फॉर द लास्ट टेस्ट मैच, आई थिंक दैट्स आल्सो नॉट फेयर ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर पर्सन। जैसे हम कामरान गुलाम को लाए, हम पहले मतलब जैसे ही हमने चीज़ें चेंज की, हम उसको फ़ौरन लाए कि भाई अब इसको गो मिलेगा, इस जगह पे इसको गो मिलेगा, और वो ज़रा एक्सपीरियंस कैंपेनर था। सो यू हैव टू लुक एट you have to look at people from their projection, from their story. So I think Saim and Abdullah are someone right now जिसमें we need to invest a little bit. Yes, also आपको stick भी इस्तेमाल करनी होगी जहाँ लगेगा कि इनके पीछे अभी हुरैरा भी है, we have a lot of other people in the backup, and we're very fortunate of that. जहाँ लगेगा कि someone needs a break, someone actually needs to go back and work on their game, we'll do that. But I think we've been fairly consistent with selection. Sajid, Noman भी जिस तरीके से आए हैं, they came straight in, they got a proper chance. Zahid unfortunately couldn't bowl as much, but again, like going forwards, I think we have a lot of things to improve on, and even in selection matters हम कर
चले, parting thoughts, you can't leave pitch side without talking about Sajid Khan and Noman Ali, because किस मिट्टी के वो बने हुए, जिस किस्म का उन्होंने कैरेक्टर दिखाया, not just with the ball, also with the bat. I mean, it's just been incredible.
Zainab, I think one thing I'm very clear on is that you can have as much skill as you want to. Skill cricket में international level में 19-20 होती है, डिफरेंस आता है मेंटल उस पर, और मेंटालिटी में क्या आता है, कैरेक्टर्स। यू नीड कैरेक्टर्स, जो हम कहते हैं ना, इडियम यूज़ करते हैं कि यू मस्ट लीव योर ब्लड आउट ऑन द फील्ड। साजिद लिटरली डिड दैट। नोमान भी जिस तरीके से दे वर अंडर प्रेशर, कहीं फिटनेस टेस्टिंग की।
नोमान थोड़ा एनेमिक लगा मुझे।
अच्छा, थोड़ा उसने 2 किलोमीटर बहुत ज़्यादा भाग लिया बेचारे ने, आई थिंक 5 बार भागा है पिछले महीने में। तो दोज आर थिंग्स दैट आई थिंक विद हिज ही इज इन हिज लेट 30s,
मूड लिफ्टर हैं,
मूड लिफ्टर हैं। आई थिंक कैरेक्टर्स आपको पूरी टीम में नजर आए। आई थिंक वन थिंग आई विल अपलॉड इज आई थॉट आवर ग्राउंड फील्डिंग,
we mentioned that also, I mean, exceptional fielding.
To outfield England in a test match, I think that means a lot. So we need characters. कभी कभार आप 15-20 रन्स करोगे, या एक जैसे जाहिद महमूद था, आमिर जमाल था, they're playing because they're characters. So we're very fortunate, but again, hats off to Noman, hats off to Sajid, and hats off to Shakib, probably one of the
Absolutely spot on, especially with the ground fielding as well. बहुत अच्छी पाकिस्तान की ground fielding थी. Keeping भी रिजवान की was a standout, the kind of catches that he took. But on that note, I'm going to thank you. Of course, बहुत आप लोगों को मुबारक हो. A well-deserved win. You guys deserve all the accolades after everything that Pakistan cricket has been through in the last couple of months. This is a welcome relief. Thank you so much, Shan, for your thoughts.
Thank you, well done.
We'll keep you here for a little longer.
I'm baking.
We're all baking in the heat, but it's definitely been a day that has belonged to Pakistan cricket. We're going to take a short breather and then be joined by David Gower. Terrific win then for Pakistan. Remember, they were 1-0 down in this series, and under a lot of criticism from all ends, but then the deserving winners in the end of this Bank Al-Falah presents Kingdom Valley series between Pakistan and England. Well, this is how the series has panned out. England winning the first test convincingly, and then Pakistan redeeming themselves in the second one, and then also going on to win the third test match in Rawalpindi. Well, it's been a terrific day for Pakistan. We were talking to the skipper earlier on before the break, but we've now been joined by David Gower. David, Just on England, reflections, thoughts. Let's put it bluntly. Can they play spin?
As a team, no.
Right.
I mean, the best player of spin in that England team is Joe Root. And he's done that successfully in Sri Lanka, in India, here in Pakistan before. So he is the one with the experience and the talent and the knowledge as to how to play spin. So one consolation in a sense for the others is that if Joe is being made to work really hard on this pitch by some really good bowling, and I will give full credit to the way Pakistan bowled, whatever the conditions, the bowling was top-notch. If he's made to look to struggle, then it suggests that those without that same experience are going to have to learn very, very quickly. Now, I'd look at some of those shots. You could go through each and every one. Some of them were basic errors of judgment, the basic things like line and length. Others were basic errors of temperament and strategy, trying to do things that were never on. You have the exception in the first innings of Jamie Smith, who settled in because he'd seen how badly wrong the guys had got it beforehand. So he's forced to settle in. And in effect, the two guys who've made proper runs on this pitch, both people who settled in by nudging the ball into spaces and then getting the hang of the pitch, getting the hang of conditions, after which, after some time, it inevitably gets easier. And everyone else panicked. And it's as bad as that. And I suppose poor old Ben Stokes. I mean, I have a lot of admiration for Ben as a cricketer and as a captain over the last 3 years. He's frazzled. I mean, in terms of batting alone, just the way he's played in this series and that leave of a straight ball today is a sign that he's, well, to put it politely, not in form. And the trouble with that is he is so important. I mean, he's a great leader. He's a very, very good leader of men. The culture England's developed in the last 3 years has been vital to the successes they've had and the way they absorb failure. So they're not going to go and, they're not going to go and sit in a darkened room tonight and worry about it. They will come out thinking, well, OK, lessons to be learned. But he's so important as a leader that you just want him to be up front as a leader and up front as a batsman.
Well, just yesterday, Ramiz, Pakistan were, just at lunch, they were 177 for 7. And England were in the driver's seat. A day later, Pakistan has gone on to win this test match by 9 wickets. So just in terms of this achievement, the significance of this achievement and what it means to the nation, because Pakistan cricket has seen a lot of ups and downs in the last, more downs more than ups in the last few months. So what does this win mean to them?
As we all know, Zainab, cricket is more than a sport here in Pakistan. It binds us together. It's a talking term in every household. We at breakfast we talk about the game. Either we're doing well and talk about the brilliance, or when we're not doing well, we talk about how pathetic we are. We're a very emotional race that way. We're very critical of the performances because the only joy that a sport provides to this nation is cricket. And there has always been this potential from some of the younger guns that, they can make it big. Saim Ayub, for example. So when Shan Masood was talking about giving a consistent run to some of the players, I think he must also understand that Pakistan cannot afford losses at the cost of just going through with the same 11 test match after test match. So I think one mistake that was made in the last year and a half, 2 years, is that Pakistan have been very, very stubborn in changing a playing pattern. Too much sort of backing the fast bowlers who were half fit, not preparing good pitches that would suit home condition and stuff like that. But, I mean, this win will have the disgruntled fans back watching cricket again, because I know for a fact that some of the younger kids were just completely off. Because you get a sense of what is happening at the airport, at a cinema, when you meet people, cricket fans, it says, "Humne to cricket dekhni chhod diya." We don't watch cricket anymore. They were absolutely down and had plenty of strong reasons to not watch cricket, because 6 losses in a row, irrespective of whether you're playing in Australia or here, would dent any fan's confidence. And the psyche was hit. The psyche was hurt, and I think this win will get them watching cricket again.
All right, so just in terms of answers now, obviously England would be looking for answers and how to move forward from this. There will be times when they will be playing in the subcontinent. You rightly pointed out that Joe Root knows how to go about his business in these conditions, but didn't really get to see that from Harry Brook, someone who scored a lot of runs the last time England toured Pakistan. What about 500 runs he scored? Different conditions then. So is it a case of just, adapting to those conditions and learning from their mistakes and moving on? How does this team move on now?
If you look at any individual's career, you'll have the ups and downs that come from playing against some of the great pace bowling, some of the great spin bowling, playing on good pitches, bad pitches, pitches in between. It's one of the reasons that people like Harry have to make the most of a really flat pitch in Multan, get 300 on the board, make sure the average stays good for the series, because if you come up against problems later on, things can change. I mean, the irony here is Harry 2 years ago made 460 odd runs. He's made 370 runs this time, all in 3 test matches, both series 3 test matches. So 100 less runs this time round, having made 300 in one of those innings. And that's entirely down to very good spin bowling and completely different conditions. So he's the sort of player that will have to learn, have to add that in here and think about it, because, I mean, not just Harry. People like Zach Crawley, for instance, who is a fixture at the top of the order. He plays against pace. It's a very, very different sort of game. He was bemused by slow lift arm spin here, and he will go home, I'm sure, and think about that and work on it, as will many others.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your thoughts once again, DG. It's been a pleasure to have you here in Pakistan to give us all the useful insight and perspectives on English cricket. Thank you so much, Rambo, once again for your thoughts. Welcome. Always a pleasure to have you on pitchside. And that's pretty much a wrap from here in Rawalpindi. It's been a phenomenal comeback by Pakistan. They've won this series against England 2-1 after 9 years. So they deserve all the accolades, all the praise, and I'm sure that they will be a happy bunch really celebrating tonight. So that's pretty much all that we have for all of you who are watching out there, and we will be meeting you next time. Until next time though, it's goodbye.